Greetings, I'm Anika. I'm here at the Tidewater Comic Con with Katy Farina, the comic book artist for Steven Universe, The Amazing World of Gumball, and Rick and Morty, and you're watching ComicsVerse. So Katy, how is Tidewater treating you so far?
It's been awesome so far. It's been really fun. Everyone's so friendly. There's so many people here, so it's been great.
It's great to hear. Is it your first time here?
It is, yeah. We're from Charlotte, so this is the first time I've been to Virginia, let alone Tidewater.
Awesome. It's my first time here and I'm loving it. So what inspired you to pursue a career as a comic book artist?
I've always wanted to do comics. So when I was very young, I got into manga, and it was so beautiful to me. Like, I've never seen comics like that. Like, as a kid, you grow up and you're like, okay, comics are Batman and Superman, and that didn't appeal to me. But manga was like, oh my God, this beautiful artwork and these like gorgeous female characters, usually female characters, doing these amazing things. Like, I want to do that. And so I kind of started drawing when I was 14 in high school, and like, yeah, that's like everyone's anime manga phase, right? So that's when I started drawing, and I kind of wanted to pursue a career of comics from there.
Awesome. Did anybody train you?
I went to art school or art college, but before that I was self-trained, and kind of after that I was self-trained. I have very complicated thoughts about art school.
Well, I've seen your work, and I must say that you're really good at what you do. So I wanted to know if you're more of like an old school artist, like you like to sit down with a sketchbook and a pencil, or do you like to prefer doing like art on computer, like digitally?
That's a really good question, actually, and that's kind of like a hotly debated topic. I'm actually both. I do a lot of work on my sketchbook. That's how I do all my thought process, my thinking work. But working digitally allows you to be so much faster, and when you're working on a comic, you've got to get it out as fast as possible. But nothing really beats the feel of drawing in a sketchbook, or like I used to ink with a brush and like a paintbrush and ink, and that is also a very satisfying feeling. It's just slower for me personally, so I kind of do both.
Right, I can totally relate because I'm a writer and I always write to like write it down with a pencil first and then put it on a doc, so I can totally relate. So let's talk more about Steven Universe. Were you a fan of the show before doing the art for the comic?
Yes, absolutely. I love the show. So it meant a lot to me when they asked me to be on the comic because of how much the show means to me.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the show myself. And is there any elements of the show that you are particularly excited about exploring more in the comic?
Yeah, a lot actually. Character relationships for sure. I'm really invested in interpersonal relationships between characters in any story. So being able to kind of break that down and explore them more in the comics has been a real treat because we do a lot of stories about characters that don't necessarily normally interact. We did one with Mayor Dewy in issue 3, and being able to explore that character outside of what we've seen in the show actually made me like him a lot more, which was really cool because I never expected to really like Mayor Dewy, and now I really do.
Oh, awesome. That's great to hear. So would you say when it comes to illustrating comics, is there a certain kind of freedom or limitation as opposed to what can be done on TV shows?
That's a really good question as well. There's a lot more freedom, I think, especially because all of our editors and the showrunners are pretty chill with me throwing in Easter eggs there. And I'm a huge nerd, so I like a lot of different things. And being able to kind of do a nod to shows or comics that I like in Steven Universe has been really neat, especially because I get a lot of really cool fan reactions from that. So like in issue 3, I threw in a Voltron reference because I love those characters, and it's been awesome seeing the response from people for that. And I get to play a lot more with character expressions. Like, one of the things I love about Steven Universe is how big all the action is, and that's something I really value in art and something I really want to work on in my own art. So being able to really play with that has been awesome.
Definitely, I totally agree. So is there any current projects that you're working on that you would like fans to know about?
Well, I'm currently working on my own things that I can't talk much more about, but those should be coming out. Maybe I can talk about those soon. Other than that, like, the Steven Universe issue I just finished is really awesome, and I'm really excited about it. I had so much fun drawing it, and I really do every issue. I'm just like, oh my God, I love this. So that I think I can really get excited about with people. So yeah, that for sure. Yeah.
Great, awesome. So now my final question, which is more of a fun question. Who's your favorite gem?
Garnet for sure. I love Garnet. Garnet's always been my favorite. I always like the level-headed, kind of like chill character. And as we got to know more about her and that she's literally two gems that are so in love they can't stand to be apart, that's like, oh, I love that stuff so much. And then a close second is definitely Peridot, and then like Connie, and all of them really.
Yeah, I totally love Garnet as well. Well, thank you very much, Katy. It was great meeting you. Thank you for your time.
Of course, thank you so much for having me.
No problem. So you can find more interviews, comic book reviews, analysis on comicsverse.com. I'm Anika, and you're watching ComicsVerse.